Alright, at this point we've installed a servo motor onto our Drawbot here in the back. You can see it. We've also got a pen so we can draw pictures. Okay, and looking at the front, we've got the servo plugged in right here into that S0 position, which maps to pin 7 on here. Okay, and our job right now is to actually program it to lift that pen up and down. And so the idea is when we're drawing a picture with our Drawbot, we don't necessarily want to always be drawing. Sometimes we want to lift that pen up so we can move, or if we're staying in a position, we don't want it to be bleeding on the paper, so you might lift it up then. And so later when we start drawing pictures, you might consider when you do a turn actually raising that pen up so that it doesn't bleed while it's turning. So some things to think about. You don't have to make those decisions yet, but we're going to go ahead and add those functions right now. And then our Drawbot is ready to start drawing pictures. Okay, so we're going to start by connecting to our device. Okay, so we're connected, and we're going to grab the Drawbot right here. If you don't have a servo library, we can add it. Remember, make a new file, call it servo.py, and then you're going to copy in the code right here. Okay, and so we're going to create a servo here, and we're going to say self.penServo equals servo. And we're going to say pin equals 7. Okay, and so we're going to have to say from servo import servo. And so we're going to create some constants here, and the first one will be servo, we'll call it pen up position, and we'll just say 180 for now. Say pen down position. And the idea is that we want to be able to when we say pen up, it's going to lift up the pen, and when we say pen down, it'll lift it, it'll set it down. Okay, and so we'll make those functions here. Let's go do them after our direction one. So we're going to say def pen up self, and we're just going to say self.penServo dot, I think it's right. Yep, dot right. Here we go. And we'll say pen up. Oops. Pen up position. And now you can decide if you want to add a short delay here or not. So this is something you can test out. So maybe like 0.2 seconds. I'm going to comment it out for now. You can decide if you want it or not later. So if you want to have that delay there, you can add it back in. All right, and we're going to make a second function here called PenDown that will put in that down position. And so we got this PenDown function, and we're going to grab our PenDown position. Okay, and to test it in our run function, we're just going to say self.pen up like that. Okay, so we run that, and we should see the servo lift to the up position. Now for mine, that actually went to the down position, so I want to put that to be 0. And I run again, and I see it went to the up position. Perfect. Okay, and now I want to work on my pen down position, so that to be maybe 90. Okay, and 180 is maybe too far on this one, so I'm going to go 175. Oh no, let's go with 5 or like 10. I'll go 10 right here. Okay, that's better. Maybe I'll go even a little less. So you're just going to have to really kind of tune this to see how it looks. And then now I'm going to set my pen down position to be 90. So I'm going to start with that one. Pen down. And that looks good. Maybe go a little bit lower. So let's go to like 100 here. Okay. And then we'll demonstrate it here. So I'm just going to say, we'll say self.PenUp. Sleep. Wait for 2 seconds. And then PenDown. So I'm going to play that. Now let's try to hold this here so you can see it. But what's going to happen is, actually I'll do it like this with the pen so you can see it. So if I got my pen in there, you should see that pen like lift up and then come back down when I play. There you go. So you can see this is how we can raise it and lower it while we're drawing, you know, as we need to. All right, and this is kind of how it installs the pen. And at this point, you can actually draw something, right? So we have all the parts here. You can get your pen. Oops, where did I put the cap for it? Here we go. And now you can draw all kinds of things. So think about this. We can probably we're going to go like this, except. And let's also do a finally. And we want this as well, just so that we can also do these cleanup steps. So when we're done, we want to lift up the pen, and we want to disengage the motors. And so we can also do, in our stop function, we can do self.penServo dot, how do we disable this one? Dot stop. Or no, dot, I think we set to 0. Let's see how that works. So we actually have to do PenUp first if we're going to call the stop function. Yep. Okay. So now let's come to here, PenServo dot stop. Okay, let's try that out. I'm trying to decide if I want to use stop or up there. So up. Oh, and it stayed in that up position. So we do need to add some delays here in these positions. So I uncommented those. So it went up, went down, and then back up, and then it stopped. Okay. So then let's say we want to draw a picture now. So we got this stuff. This is our cleanup steps, so that we end up with the motors turned off. It'll keep the motors from like overheating and stuff. And now you might say, okay, self.forward, 50. Well, actually, first we'll put the pen down because we want to draw, right? So put our pen down, go forward 50, maybe self.left, 45, self.forward, 50, and then maybe turn right, self.right, 45, something like this. So some kind of combination of directions, you can make as many different like kind of commands in here as you want to draw a picture. And so that's kind of like where we're building to. And from here, we'll start actually building in some shapes as well. But your job right now is just to have some fun drawing some pictures just by putting in the different commands, specifically the forward, the left, and the right, the pen down, and the pen up. Something else you might want to consider is when it turns, to put self.pen up here, and then a self.pen down, so that it doesn't bleed when it turns. You can put that here in the left function, as well as in the, you should have a right function as well. I don't have mine written on here, but you should do it in both those functions, so that, well, if you want to, you can test it out and see what you think. Okay? And we'll talk more about that later, maybe add some options to turn it on and off.